All right, so I'm being called to share more of things I've seen. I guess in an effort for help other people feel seen and heard of like things that we've been through, because it's anyways. Okay, stay on track. Because like I don't actually care in the bigger, I don't wish bad karma or jail time or whatever on people, but if you don't want to be seen and you don't want to take accountability, if you've chosen this other path, then that's not my, it's not my place to like tell people otherwise. But then it's like, if you're personally attacking me and my family, then okay, so let me not get off track. Like, I remember a couple years ago, I think it might have been 3 years ago, I was going over and doing yard work for my mom, and this was one of the times, but I mean, I knew this many times because this is one of the times that it really became apparent to me that like my name was in her mouth a lot. And there was other times too, like there were a lot of instances. And my mom's always been a big, and both my parents are like, follow that idea of like networking and stuff, which anyway, so my name would always be in her mouth, and she's talking to people on the phone and when I'm there and everything. And I just thought it was strange. I was like, why does she need to talk about me so much? And I'm gonna try to get through this with this kid, y'all. I'm just like, my energy is just not there today. So I was going over there and doing that, and we would have conversations. And that was also the time where I realized I kept having all these ideas, because I was trying to figure out, I was like, in my mind, I was doing all this other healing stuff. And I was like, and I had said that even when we first moved here, I was like, my plans are, it was supposed to be that I was going to be able to afford this place. And then it would be signed in my name, because I had to sign this form that was like, it's my mom's place until I can afford it and all this. So, but, anyway, so I had all these different ideas about things that I wanted to do. And it would always be like, we'd have the conversation, and then the next time I'd come over there, she'd be like, I'm going to try to go outside. Teddy, quiet, please. Take it down. I already asked you to take it down. I don't know if I want to do this. I don't know if my neighbors snoop. It would get shot down somehow. And one time I remember very vividly that I was like, we were sitting out by the pool, and she was like, I was talking about, I wish I could remember what it was exactly, but I don't. But I remember her saying, like, she's like, you made these life choices, like, God, I don't remember how it was worded. It was just like literally like, you made your bed and you're lying in it type of thing. But in a way that was like, you're never going to get out of this pit type of thing. Like that's how it came across. Or like, you don't have all these options anymore type of thing. And it was just, anyway, it was always this confusion, because it would always be like, there would be some times where I would feel like she was on my side, and we would, be in agreement about stuff. And it was all crazy, because it was like, there would be times she was the one who helped me with all the ABA. And then as soon as she would do all this research, and she started getting all these articles about how it was controversial, and she started sending that to me. And I eventually had to cut her off on the emails, because it was just like, that was one of her tactics of like blowing up my phone or whatever. And or just whatever it was. This wasn't even what this one was supposed to be about. There was a point to that one. Oh yeah, she would go back and forth about just everything. And so it was always just, it always kept me in that state of confusion and like, like, should you do school? Should you not do school? And like when I first started homeschool, she was like, she would play that too, where she was like, yeah, I'm really proud of you. And, there were things like that. And then it's like, it just took me a long time to realize that so many things were lies and tactics. And like, she saw all these times where I was like, I had to like, step up for Teddy when he was having all these behavioral things. And I thought that, but that actually ended up being something that was like a threat or something like that. Okay, the story that I wanted to speak on is there was an instance a few years back when I was going over there, we were doing all of this ABA therapy, and Teddy was had clinic time for a few hours, so I would go over there and do yard work. But there were lots of times where we would have conversations, and at some point it got around to like, finances were finances were a problem, and we needed to get, I deserved to have, John wasn't available, John, it's kind of wild because she would always be like so livid about these things that John would do. And then it's like, that's another thing that you realize is like the people that get that a lot of times are anger, if it's like, it depends. Anger can be from a place of wanting to protect someone, but then the other side of that is like not wanting to accept that, you're also screwing people over. Like it's triggering, but you don't want to have to realize that you're doing the same thing type of thing. So she kept bringing it up, and she was like, you deserve more money from him. We need more money. I need whatever, like we need help. And I kept saying all these, and I was always like, I know I need to be working. Like that's the problem. And it was so weird because like other people, that was another reason that I realized that I was in a really dangerous situation, is it's like other people would say the same thing of like, why is your daughter not working? Why this, why that? And it was like, my mom just wouldn't listen, wouldn't like hear these people. And so it was weird because she was trying to act like she was my friend, like we were on the same, she was on my friend, and she wanted to help me with all this. But then it was like there were these other things going on. It was like all for control. But it took me a long time to like figure these things out. So anyway, yeah, so I got pulled, I got duped. I guess I caved because she kept bringing it up. I don't remember how it went exactly, because I know at first I was like, I don't remember exactly. I was like I was defending John because it was like, he was doing his part, and I wanted to be working so that I could chip in more. And my mom wasn't paying me to do the yard work and stuff, but that was fine. And so anyway, okay, how do I wrap this up? So I can't believe it's still recording. She came up with this, plan of like, we have to do it, we need to all sit down and have a chat. And I thought that was like, no, I was like, yeah, we need to do that. Like I was in full agreement. I was like, we all need to sit down as a family, because I was like, I just don't think John, at that point it was like, I was doing all this therapy and I didn't know what was going to happen with Teddy, and if I was going to have to homeschool him, because we hadn't done homeschool yet at that point. And I was like, this isn't going to be like, it's not going to be easy for me to work and on all these things. And I was like, I just don't think that they get it. And so this was like hugely eye-opening for me. So then it was like my mom and Teddy was gone at the beach with them. My mom and I like went to dinner and had drinks, and I'll never forget. She was like, we were talking about it and talking about different things, and she was like, she was like, I'm just glad to have someone to fight with. And I'll never forget, and I hope I might not be verbatim, but I'll never forget that, because that hit me so hard in that moment of like, what the hell is she talking about? Like, and then I realized like was walking into something like more intense than I realized. And so then the day that they were going to bring Teddy back, we all were going to get together at my mom's to have this conversation. My mom last minute drew up this paperwork. And this is another thing that she always does, because she's super organized, and like had this whole like thing about like, you know, this is what's right and wrong, and this is what you should be doing, and you're neglecting your child, and all the money. She drew, you know, wrote out all the money and all this. And I was like, and then, you know, right. And this was like, you know, I got there and they were going to be there in like 30 minutes or something. And we had to figure out what to do. And I was like, why are you throwing this on me now? Like, no, this wasn't this. We were just going to have a conversation. Like, so I didn't, anyway, so I let her read this out to him. He got livid, threatened to take me to court. We calmed the situation, and anyways, John at that point had just started giving me more money. So for my end, I tried to speak my mind of like, my part of like, I wanted them to have more awareness about the situation, what we were going through, and what was going to be ahead for us and stuff like that. And they just didn't care. And John's mom sided with John, and they were like, you know, we can't give you guys anything, and you know, you need to be eating beans and rice, and you know, like, and she went back into like how, you know, she went through this struggle even though she was always married, she always had a husband. So she doesn't know what it was like to be a single parent, but she went into the story of like what it was like for her when they didn't have anything. And, and so I realized in that moment, my dad didn't say anything. He was there, but he didn't say a word. And, I don't remember everything with what my mom did. She tried to tell him to be a man and step up and stuff, and like just completely emasculated him. And they've always hated each other. Like or not always, because when I guess our relationship was good, I think that she played nice, but, so I don't remember how everything went exactly. And then after that, my mom called a lawyer and had this whole sob story. And then I had to go and I'm grateful that I sat down and talked to a lawyer, because it gave me more insights of like different legalities with like, just to know how that goes, with custody and stuff like that. But it was absolutely mad. And, that's when I realized that like all of this was about money. And it was like, that's even before, you know, this past year. And then then having that last couple of times with my mom, and it being like, anyways, that was just like hugely eye-opening to me, because I was like, these people don't care about me. They don't care about Teddy. They don't care about our well-being. They don't care about making sure our needs are met. That's not in the picture at all. It's just about throwing money at you and keeping you controlled, and keeping you from getting too loud, and keeping you from actually being able to do things on your own, and all of this. I was like, this isn't a supportive system in any way. But it was like, I won't say it's too little too late, but it's just like, I mean, my dad was helping us out a couple of times, and I didn't ask for it. I remember speaking it out to the universe, because I was so scared around before Christmas, and he helped us out a couple of times, and my mom found out about it, and it was blocked from that point forward. And that's exactly how like it's always been. So I don't know what's next for us. I don't know the answers. But I'm feeling called to like speak about things that I've seen and that we've been through. 'Cause I still send all these people love and forgiveness and all of that. But when it's like as soon as it's like things, 'cause I mean, there have been many times when I've been around my family and it's been, cordial. Like, it's not been like, there's been many times I was around my family that I felt I didn't feel comfortable, but there have been times I felt fine. And it's because there's, of course, a sense of familiarity too, but it's like, as soon as there's a threat, that's when it becomes this other game where it's like, okay, you're threatening my identity. Okay, you're threatening my status. You're threatening my the amount of money that I have. You're threatening the way that I look to the world or whatever. That's when it becomes. That's when it's like this Agent Smith game. All right. That's all. I know I've been rambling now for almost 16 minutes. Holy crap. Okay. That was really wordy, but I don't know yet what I'm going to do with this, but I hope that we can keep pushing each other to not give up, because you are the odd man out, essentially. Like, when there's multiple people that are on the same side and you're the one that's trying to be integral, or just, not manipulate people for money and all these things, then it's like, but I know that we're safe. I know that we're protected. It's absolutely mad. Like crazy, I mean. And I love y'all, and I don't know, just don't give up.